right, so we're live and we're heading up here, and I will post the answer key on today when you go to Schoology. Right now there's nothing there, but I will post where it says study. This will become a hyperlink and you will be able to get to the video for today and the answer key for the entire practice exam. Okay, so as we talked about on Friday, there are 27 questions here on the practice exam. How many questions are on your exam? 27. So everything on here is on your exam. You need to know how to do them. All right. 9 free response questions like a normal test and 15 or 18 multiple choice questions. All right. When you come in, you will be given all of the parts at one time. I will give you the multiple choice packet and the bubble sheet. Okay, bubble those in. You may write on that multiple choice packet. Okay, so some of you don't think you could write on it. I'm telling you now, you're allowed to write on it. I will also give you a colored sheet of paper that you can use to show any other scrap work. I'm not going to grade that. I'm just going to recycle it as soon as you walk out the door. But you have to turn that colored sheet in because I don't want any exam problems walking out of my classroom. So you will turn that paper in, whether you wrote on it or not. Okay. But I don't look at it. So you don't have to number it. You don't have to be neat. It's going to get thrown away. And then the free response is just like a normal test. You show your work, show any work to get partial credit, and then put your answer on the answer blank. You will be able to use your graphing calculator on the entire exam. Questions? Okay. Your exam for you guys is on which day? Wednesday morning. Okay. And I think I'm going to get you started on your exam, but then I have to get down my 8th graders. I'm going to be doing their last day of review with them. Okay. Because I have you and them teaching at the same time. Okay. So I'm trying to think of who I have with you guys. I have Mrs. Case one day. I have Mr. Delap one day. I can't remember who the third person is. Oh, Mrs. Smith one day. So you'll have one of those 3 people in here while you're doing your exam. Okay? And then I will be back. Questions? Alrighty. Let's take a look at problem number 16. Okay, 16 started chapter 5, factor completely. So who was 16? Alrighty. What did you do to factor completely on number 16?
I pulled a GCF of 5 out.
Pulled out a GCF of 5. And when you did, what did you have left?
X squared plus 2x minus 35.
And then what'd you do?
I multiplied for what multiplies a negative 35 and adds to 2. I
Yeah.
got 7 negative 5.
So your final answer is?
X equals negative 7x.
Oh, now wait a minute. Did it say solve by factoring or just factor?
I don't know.
Okay, the directions, just so you know, said what?
Factor.
So where should you stop?
Here.
Yeah. You do not have to tell me what x equals. Do you see how there's no equal sign in this problem?
Yeah.
So you can't tell me it's equal to anything. You just factor it. Okay, good. Questions? All right, who was 17? Simplify. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Okay. Is there a reason why you need a box of tissues?
Yeah.
Extra credit?
Yeah.
You know, we're not supposed to give extra credit for tissues. All right, go ahead.
So I broke radical negative 80 into radical negative 17 and radical 5. And then
16 and 5, yeah.
And then negative 16 got broken down to 4i. And then radical 5. And then I multiplied 4 by 3 to get 12i radical 5.
Okay, so that was negative 16 times 5, which is 4i. And then make sure you multiply the 3 times the 4i, which she said is 12i. Good. Questions there? 18. Now, 18 says solve by using square roots. Who is 18? Oh, she's coming. Okay, she's coming. Thanks, Ava. All right, Ava, what'd you do first?
I first subtracted 7 to 8.
Okay, and got?
2x squared equals 80.
Okay.
And then I divided by 2.
Okay.
And my x squared equals 40.
Okay.
And I did the square root and I got x equals plus or minus 2 radical 10.
Good. Do you have to remember the plus or minus? Plus or minus 2 radical 10. Perfect. Questions there. 19, multiply. This chapter wasn't too bad. Was this chapter pretty easy? Okay. Number 19 is multiply. Mr. Lippy. Let me see your answer. One step. There you go. Okay, talk me through what you did.
I folded that into 35 plus 20i minus 14i minus 8i squared. And then simplified that into 35 plus 6i minus 8 times negative 1 because I squared is negative 1. And then simplify that into 35 plus 6i plus 8 and then 43 plus 6i.
Good. Okay, couple things on this. You had to remember I squared is equal to what? Negative 1. So that's how you got plus 8 in standard forms. A couple people asked me about standard form. You put the real part first, plus or minus the imaginary part. So it is 43 plus 6i. Good job. Questions there? All right. Number 20. I had a couple people ask me here. Find the discriminant and then describe the number and type of solutions. Okay. I see the discriminant and I see your answer. Okay, talk me through. What is the discriminant? Just the part under the radical. The b squared minus 4ac. What did you have to do first to this equation, Landon?
Subtract 6.
And you got?
2x squared minus 5x minus 6.
Good. And then the discriminant we said was just b squared minus 4ac. So what'd you plug in?
Negative 5 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 6.
Make sure you put negative 5 squared in parentheses. And what did you get for the discriminant?
73.
So what did you tell me?
2 real solutions.
2 real solutions. What if the discriminant was negative? 2 non-real or 2 imaginary? What if it was 0? 1 real solution. Good. Okay, good job, Landon. Questions there? 21, solve by completing the square. Had a lot of questions on that one, too. AJ. Solve by completing. I was just looking to see who was coming up. Solve by completing the square. All right, step 1. What's step 1?
All right, so negative 8x, you got to split that in half.
Well, first you had to do what?
Oh, add the 9.
Add the 9 over.
Yep. And then you split the 8x into negative 4 squared. And then you got to do that to both sides.
Good.
You just do it to one. And then over here you get 25 under the squared.
Well, first you just get 25. And then over here, this side factors into
X minus 4 squared.
x minus 4 squared. Then to undo the squared, you,
Then you get x minus 4 is equal to square root of 25.
which is
5.
plus or minus 5.
Yep. And then you go x minus 4. You add the 4 to the other side. It's x equals 4 plus or minus 5. And then right here you do 4 minus 5 is negative 1. And then 4 plus 5, which is 9.
And 9. Good. So your answers are 9 or negative 1. Very good. How'd you do on completing the square? Good? Okay. Laura, you did this one, right? Do you want to just talk me through from there? Okay. So let's kind of look at what she did first. First of all, guys, if you have an inequality, you have to remember dash your solid and shade. Dash your solid and shade. So I'm going to kind of overwrite this one in green. This is the parent function shifted which way? Left 2. So she took her parent function and went left 2. Okay. So you could have made a table of values, which she did here. I think. Is that one's table of values? Okay. Or you could just take the parent function and shift it. Each point left 4. And then you said it's dashed because it's just greater than and shaded above. So she did dash it. I can kind of see. I can see there. It's dashed. Then this one, which I'm going to overwrite in blue, you said it opens down and went up 4. So she said, okay, it opens upside down. So there's her parent function. And when shifted up 4, there's her points. Or she made a table of values right there. It is solid because it's what? less than or equal to, so she made it solid, and since it's less than or equal to, you shaded down. And then I can clearly see her final shaded region is that part in between. Do you guys think this will be free response or multiple choice? Free response. Okay. Questions? It'll be very similar to this. Okay. Any questions on chapter 3? All right. Last little bit. Chapter 4. Divide using synthetic division. I had somebody come up and say, but that didn't divide evenly. And I'm like, you're right. It's not going to divide evenly. It's dividing. Okay. Let me get this one cleared off here. Okay. There's that one. All right. So divide using synthetic division. Justin, tell me what you did.
I divided using.
Okay. So, okay. So what numbers did you put on the outside?
-3.
Okay. And what number, tell me why you used the numbers you did on the inside.
This one up here.
Okay. But why do you have a 0 there?
Oh, because there's no x cubed.
There you go. Because there's no x cubed. And then tell me how you got those numbers. You brought down the 4.
Yeah.
And then you what?
Multiplied it by -3.
And then you?
Yeah, -12.
And then you?
Multiplied -3 to get 36.
And then you added?
38.
And then you multiplied to get?
-114.
And then you added to get?
-115.
And then you multiplied to get?
345.
And then you added to get?
347.
Good. Now, how do we write the answer? Since you started with an 4x to the 4th, your answer is 4x to the 3rd minus
12x squared.
plus
38x minus 115.
And then your remainder was
347 over x plus 3.
good. Do you guys remember writing your remainder that way? All right. Any questions on 23? All righty. 24. Factor completely. Factor completely. All right. So that is correct. What'd you do first?
So first I took out the GCF, which is 10x to the third.
And then you were left with?
X to the third plus 27.
And then you said that's a sum of cubes?
Yeah. And then you basically just split that up here, and then you bring it down. And so,
Oh, you lost your x to the third.
yeah, I just realized.
Okay.
You take the x to the 10x to the third, you bring it down, and x plus 3, and then you just.
Yep. And then use soap. You guys remember soap?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you x plus 3, x squared minus 3x plus 9. Do you think you're going to have to know soap on your exam? Yep. Okay, good job. Just don't forget your x to the third. You brought your GCF down, but you forgot the x to the third. All right, questions on 24. All right, Jill had 25, and it says find all real solutions. Find all real solutions. So, Jill, the way you did it and the way I did it could be different. Let's see what you did. Okay, you probably plugged it in your calculator because you're allowed to use it. And what did you find as one of the real zeros?
-3.
And that's what I did too. So when you did synthetic division,
I ended up with 1, -2, -15.
and since you started with x to the third, your factored form would be
X squared
x squared,
minus 2x minus 15
and this would be x
plus 3.
plus 3. Good. And now this is a trinomial. A is 1. Life is easy. What question did you ask yourself?
What multiplies to equal -15 that adds to equal -2?
And what was it?
-3 and +5.
Okay. So what are your zeros?
-3, a +3, and -5.
Okay. Wait a minute. What'd you say?
+3, -3.
Why do you have +3?
Whenever I took it out, x.
Did I do that one now?
That's what I got.
You got what she got?
I got
What multiplies to give you -15 that
Oh.
adds to give you -2? What would that be? Do you see how this one would have to be negative and this one would have to That one would have to be what? Ooh, miss. Why run and swim, guys? Okay, so this would have to be a positive. This would have to be a, so that would be a negative, and that would be a positive. So we have -3 with a multiplicity of 2, and then positive 5. Good. Okay, questions there? Yes, sir.
You have to write with a multiplicity of 2 for the.
No, you do not. You do not. I just put that there, Josh, because if you're looking up here and saying I should have 3 solutions, why does she only have 2? Because that one occurred twice. Okay? Because remember, the fundamental theorem of algebra says if I have a 3rd degree polynomial, I should have 3 solutions, but I only have 2. Okay? Anybody else? Good question. All right, 26. Who was lovely? 26. Jarrett. Multiply using Pascal's triangle. Okay, so if it was to the 4th power, how many terms are you going to have?
5.
5. And so what were the coefficients?
1, 4, 6, 4, and 1.
Good. And then how many 5x's?
4.
Then?
3.
Then?
2.
Then?
1.
Then?
0.
None. Okay, how many 3's at the beginning?
0.
How many 3's next?
1.
How many next?
2.
And
3.
and
4.
4. Okay, so now was the hard part. Remember, if you have 5x to the 4th, that means 5x times 5x times 5x times 5x. So it meant 5 to the 4th times x to the 4th. So what did you get for your first term?
625 x to the 4th.
Good. And then the second term was 4 times 5 to the 3rd times x to the 3rd times 3. So what'd you get?
1,500 x cubed.
And then this was 6 times 5 squared times 3 squared. So what'd you get there?
1,350 x squared.
And then this was 5 times 4, 4 times 5 times 3 to the 3rd.
540 x.
And then on the end,
81.
81. How'd you guys do on that? Seems like this year you guys are really nailing Pascal's triangle. You're doing a good job. Okay, any other questions on 26? All right, 27. 27 said find all zeros. Now, how many should I have when I'm done? 3. Okay, so what'd you do first?
You can factor it, so you have to do p over 2.
Okay.
P over 1.
Okay.
And then I plugged that into my calculator.
Okay.
And found that x is
-4.
-4.
Okay.
So then you do synthetic division.
And did you guys remember yours? How many times now have we had a whole of 0 on our test? Twice. Justin's problem had it, and Quinn's problem had it. So don't forget that on your exam. All right. And so when you did, what did you have left for your numbers in synthetic division?
1, -4, and 5.
Okay. So since you started with x to the 3rd, that meant 1x
Squared.
minus
4x.
plus 5. Okay. So can you use factoring? Is there anything that multiplies to give you +5 that added to give you -4? So what'd you have to do?
Quadratic.
Okay, and when you did the quadratic formula, tell me what you did.
When I plugged it in, I got 4 plus or minus square root of -4 all over 2.
Okay,
And then -4 squares to 2i. So you get 4 over 2 plus or minus 2i over 2.
okay,
And then when you divide, or you have to bring the x plus 4 down and get x equals -4, and then x equals 2 plus or minus I.
2 plus or minus I. Very good. How'd you guys do on that one? Okay, you can have a seat. How'd you guys do on all of these? All right, so your exam is on Wednesday. You have tomorrow to come in and do whatever. Any questions on anything? Okie dokie.